There's only one movie to talk about this weekend. It is simply Joker. Joaquin Phoenix goes on to win the Oscar. Just a prediction. You'll be along with us in moments. Staying at home this weekend, there's only one superhero movie you gotta rent, you gotta buy. Spider-Man, Far From Home, but hopefully not yours. And also, we're voting on The Politician to be your favorite new bingeable Netflix offering. It stars in more this week on this edition of Extra Butter. Hey look, it's Kelly Savannah Deaton.
Hi.
It's the world-famous comedian Eric Clark.
What's up, everybody?
We're about to talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. Whatever's headed to theaters, whatever's headed to your home, we're about to do it, and we're doing it right here, right now. Hey. Kelly, where do we find you when you're not spilling popcorn?
Kelly Savannah Deaton, no H on Savannah, please.
Eric Clark.
E. Clark Comedy. Follow me on Instagram.
There you go. I'm at TV Marcus Allen, and more importantly, if you remember none of this, remember on YouTube, Extra Butter, like,
subscribe,
yes.
Turn on notifications,
all that stuff.
All the good stuff.
Notifications to get you in trouble.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's your guys' prerogative. But people at home, turn on the notifications. You'll be fine.
All right. Moving on to Kitty Film Fair. Abominable crushed it over the weekend.
Abominable. Oh, my
Told you
goodness.
it was going to happen.
Such a delightful, sweet movie. It's fun for the whole family, too. You don't just have to think, hey, if I don't have kids, I can't go see this. You are incorrect. Go borrow someone's kids. Take them, see it with your friends, your family. It's really cute.
I'm not surprised when DreamWorks makes movies, they print money.
Right, but it's not always a given. Like, you know with the Pixar movie, they're going to hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
And Disney.
With this one, I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but oh my gosh, how great, how sweet was this movie?
They're not far behind with Pixar. They're not. They're pretty close.
Yeah.
All right, your lead in this movie is voiced by Chloe Bennet, who is phenomenal herself. We talked. The workflow on this, you go in, you lay down your voice, and then you just have to wait and wait before you see what happens. So were you blown away?
Blown away. I've been doing this for 3 years, so I don't think I've ever been more patient with anything in my life.
Right.
It kind of snuck up on me, to be honest. You kind of go in, I was shooting the show that I was on, and I'd come in the afternoons that I had available, and you go in and you go out and you go in, and every time there's just more development, and then all of a sudden it's just there. And the process of doing voiceover requires an immense amount of imagination and energy in a way that I was completely not expecting. You're stripped of everything. As an actor, you're stripped of an actor across you, of wardrobe, of makeup, of hair, of everything. And it ultimately becomes about your voice. And that's a really powerful thing, especially as a woman in the industry when you are constantly reduced to how you look all the time, especially on camera. And you feel that insecurity on screen when you see someone that is self-conscious. So it was a really freeing experience to get to just go.
You're going to do great things in life, but this will always be among your top.
Thank you so much.
Nice
Thank you. Thank you.
Chloe Bennet is awesome. You are going to know that name. She's going to continue to blow up and be huge.
You know who else is awesome?
Who's that?
Sean, the one and only Edwards.
Oh, that's right. You've read his reviews in Rolling Stone magazine, LA Times, and everywhere in between. He is one of my favorite movie critics and friends and movie producers, Sean Edwards.
What's up, Sean?
All right, before we get into
How you doing?
Before we get into your review, do you mind if I talk about the other side of Sean Edwards? You are one of the producers associated with Black and Blue, and everybody is talking about that.
Wow.
Oh man, yeah, we worked hard on that one. October 25th, Naomi Harris, Tyrese Gibson. Right now we've been screening it at a couple of film festivals, so we're starting to get a little bit of love. It feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, that is remarkable. I can't wait to see the fruits and labor of Deion Taylor and Sean Edwards come to the big screen.
Wow. Deion's incredible guy, incredible director.
No kidding. And sorry to make you put that hat on, and we'll put your reviewing hat back on. You and I sat within feet of each other watching Abominable, and Sean, be honest, I think we both settled in thinking that movie was going to be disposable, and how wrong were we?
Oh man, it's actually the best animated feature so far this year.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of fun. It's very entertaining, and I really love the cultural spin.
And it's sweet. I mean, I don't know any 3D animated feature of late that leaned into just the sweetness of it all.
Yeah, the tone. The tone is perfect. It's sweet, like you said. It's heartwarming. It's fun. It's got this generational appeal that's going to hit everybody from age 1 to 99. It's just job well done on Abominable. Who knew? But it's a great animated feature.
Amen, Sean Edwards. All right, to recap, Abominable, you give it the go see?
Oh,
All right, The Running go see. And Black and Blue, head to theaters to see that, but not with the kiddies. When?
No, October 25th. All day, every day. Can't wait. Great movie.
And to follow up on this or anything and more with you, where do we find you, Mr. Sean Edwards?
Man, you can find me everywhere at S. Edwards, K as in kitten, C as in cat. S. Edwards, KC, all social platforms. I'm right there.
One of our favorite guests, ladies and gentlemen, Sean Edwards. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Thanks, Sean.
Hey, thanks
you,
a lot,
Sean.
guys. The Yeti's room.
Try bringing that up with Joaquin Phoenix. See how that goes, because we're talking to him next about Joker. This movie is going to crush it in a multitude of ways. I can't wait to unleash it on you. Next.
One small thing.
Yeah.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
Hey, welcome back to Extra Butter. This is the segment I've most been waiting for because this movie, we all saw the trailer and we all thought Joker is either going, it's going to hit that fork in the road. This movie is going to be horrible or it's going to be incredible.
I knew.
You knew it was going to be incredible?
I knew it was going to be incredible. Joaquin
This
Phoenix,
incredible?
This incredible, yes. 8-minute standing ovation, Venice Film Festival,
Yes.
taking home the biggest prize.
Right.
I knew it because Joaquin Phoenix doesn't really get behind anything unless he knows it's going to go all the way because he's so weird. How has this not been done before, matching the Joker character with Joaquin? I mean, it's one and the same.
Well, Eric, did you in your lifetime think that we would ever see someone best Heath Ledger's performance?
Whoa. I didn't say that much.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are saying that.
He said Eric. And so
I'll leave while you two settle this.
Heath Ledger's my man, though.
Well, I was skeptical because having a Joker with a movie without Batman was like, all right, what is this going to be about?
It's like all chip and no dip.
Yeah. So the psychology behind this is just like, you know, it's deep. I mean, it's what makes this guy actually snap because the Joker is a maniac, but you feel sorry for this guy. That's how good of a performance it is.
Yeah, it's hard to have sympathy for someone like that, and Todd Phillips made it happen with Joaquin, I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. We sat down with Todd to talk about it. Take a look.
To me, Joaquin is just one of the greats, and he takes something on the page. It's hard to explain to people, you know, what an actor brings to a role. You know, you might see it and think everything in there was written down for him to do, and it's just not that way ever. And Joaquin is one of those guys who just takes it and makes it his own in a very specific way that you would have never guessed.
Do you ever wonder how big decisions are made in Hollywood? I was just thinking about Todd Phillips. Like, at what board meeting were they sitting around saying it's going to be one of the most psychologically in-depth exposés on this character Joker ever captured? Who best to do it? I don't know. Let's get the guy who brought us
The Hangover. So random. The Hangover? How did this? But it worked.
Exactly.
Because he needed to show his dark side, and he wrote the character in mind with Joaquin Phoenix. The whole time he was writing the script, he thought, I have to get Joaquin to do this.
I was worried that Joaquin wouldn't look like the Joker, but he physically transformed himself into the Joker. I mean, the weight loss,
52 pounds.
the way that his face is elongated. I mean, he really looks like the comic book version of the Joker. Yeah,
it's scary. Like, I've sat down with him before, and I'll be honest with you, he scares me. I'm not sure. Look, I'm going to go ahead and call it for what it is. I'm not sure he's the most stable person on the planet.
No.
But when you sit opposite, it's like this Hannibal Lecter kind of vibe. You're afraid he's going to come over and grab a bite out of you at some point. So we went behind the scenes at our distance to have him talk about his character. Take a look.
at our distance.
What I like about this movie is I think that there are several different reactions that people can have, and they're all valid. And there's something really exciting about being in a movie that requires the audience to participate with the character in a different way. I mean, usually characters' motivations are so clearly defined that we're telling the audience precisely what to feel and when. And what I like about this movie is it's really up to interpretation.
Joaquin, thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to us. At a distance, through some safety glasses.
Yeah, that's probably safe and smart. Good job.
All right, how do you find someone that can stand up to that level of complexity when it comes to acting? Zazie Beetz, there's some debate. Zazie Beetz, did she?
No, it's Zazie.
Zazie.
There's no J.
You know her from Atlanta, you know her from
Deadpool 2, she played Domino.
Oh, right, exactly.
She's been in a lot
She
of
does
things lately.
a great job, and not many people could handle themselves in front of her.
No, when I was wondering which actress they were going to pair up with him, and it wasn't expected for her, but she knocked it out of the park. you really believe that she could tame this guy, and that's not an easy feat.
True.
Well, I'm not surprised. If you look at her last role in Deadpool, Domino was kind of a play off the Joker also.
Good point.
Being that they're both kind of clowns in a way.
It's the same notes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not surprised. She nailed it. And speaking of the director, she talks about working with Todd.
Oh, yeah. Take a look.
Todd is, he was a really great leader on this film. I the entire time I was sort of in awe with his sort of visual and kind of mental interpretation of this story, and I think he's really like the perfect mind to do this. I think he's like a little wild, but he's confident, and he has this very kind of calm, sort of driven sense about him, and I think to kind of structure and put this beautiful kind of master work together, you sort of need this this kind of personality.
She does a great job, and not many people could hold their own against Joaquin. He is so deep in this role. Woo. Mark my words right now. Come award season, you are going to hear nominations for Best Leading Actor.
Really?
Joaquin Phoenix, the very first comic book movie lead actor.
You think so?
I think so.
I think so too. I think just the reaction that the film has already been having, I am behind you 100%.
There you go.
Or if he doesn't, they just don't like Joaquin.
Who doesn't like Joaquin?
He's so weird, you have to like him.
I'm scared to not like Joaquin. That's what I'm talking about. All right, speaking of superheroes, want to bring Spider-Man home? Now you can. The expanded Blu-ray, DVD, and home video delivery of Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes.
Perhaps not your home. Next. Welcome back to Extra Butter, talking about all things movies, but maybe you don't want to be in the privacy of a movie theater, but more importantly, the privacy of your home, because movie theaters aren't that private anyway.
Yeah, I agree. That was, yep.
Okay, Spider-Man, Far From Home. Loved it on the big screen. There are very few movies that I say, you can't just rent this when it comes to your home. You gotta own it. This is a movie you wanna own.
You have to buy it. If you're a Marvel fan, it surpassed every Marvel expectation. It has Tom Holland, of course, reprising Spider-Man. Zendaya's amazing. Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's right.
There's a lot of twists and turns. I say buy this movie 100%.
It wraps up the Infinity Saga. So if you are into the whole Marvel Infinity War Thanos thing, this is the bookend right here. So make sure you guys go and buy it.
You know what I love about it? Even if it's for a nano moment within a scene, you always wonder, what does Nick Fury do when he's on vacation? How does Nick Fury get away?
I love
and
that
you
part.
get it. I talked to Sam about that.
Nick Fury gets a vacation in this movie.
Yeah.
For a moment.
Just for a moment. But, understated.
Yeah. If you were to go on a vacation, albeit real or virtual, what would be the perfect spot for you?
Me?
Yeah.
I kind of like, we take a yacht trip every year, so I kind of like being on a yacht in the middle of nowhere and just resting with the sun beating down on the deck and me sleeping on the thing with my Kindle laying next to me.
No agenda.
None.
Samuel L. Jackson is always Nick Fury. Now you can tell this is a role he doesn't care. Like, some people get tired of talking about the same thing over and over again.
Oh, no.
I feel like this is the one role Samuel L. Jackson wouldn't mind talking about for the rest of his
They're
life.
like one and the same. Nick
No
Fury
kidding.
and him, I feel like they're the same person.
Well, Nick Fury, they changed Nick Fury to Sam's image. Nick Fury used to be a white guy, then in the Ultimate series, they asked for Sam Jackson's permission to change him to that guy.
Oh, that's great.
So back in about 2005, they made the change.
That's what you've made impact on a role when they retrofit the role
Right?
for alter history for you.
In the comics.
In the comics,
That's
that is.
pretty crazy.
All right, so Spider-Man. I doubt there'll be any other Spider-Man beloved as much as Tom Holland.
No, people are, you know why? Because he doesn't just delve in. I mean, he is an acrobatic little human.
Yeah, I mean, he's nimble.
He's Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
Right.
He's funny, too.
Yeah,
That's what I
he's
like about it.
hilarious.
Spider-Man always had little quips and little things when he's fighting the villains, and he totally nails it. Better than Tobey Maguire and
who's
Andrew
that
Garfield.
other guy? No, this is the best
Andrew.
Spider.
This is the
Poor
guy.
Andrew.
And speaking of not remembering, I sat down with Tom Holland, Zendaya, and what's the other guy's name?
Jacob.
And
Beat.
Jacob, the
Ned.
other guy. Ned. Take a look.
Jeez Louise.
God, how can I get into this? So your character has a layer of complexity in this one that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
That had to be not only fun to play, but also how do you hold off friends when they call and say, so what happens in this movie?
Yeah, I know. That's the hard part is if you're really talking about Well, I mean, I guess it's good that we're all friends, so we can just talk to each other about it and know that we're not spoiling anything because we're all in the same movie.
But they can't talk to me.
But it's been really fun. I think, like the first movie, obviously we don't know much about the character. We just know that she's like a very honest, brutally honest sometimes character, and I don't know, I think she kind of has like a bit of a wall built up, so it's kind of nice to see different sides of this character and kind of see see the gooey inside that she actually does have, and I think Peter just brings that out of her a little bit.
You know, I want to ask you a question, and it might lean towards being personal, but I've asked this of every Spider-Man so far. When you're in the most complex version of the spider suit, and suddenly nature calls, what do?
You just gotta hold it, man. You gotta hold it. Those suits cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So peeing on it is not an option. It's funny, on the first film.
I thought about that often. I was like, what if he has to?
If you like really need, you have to pre-plan. If you every sip of water, you're like, that's an extra 5 minutes I'm gonna need. If you shart, that would be also really bad for my poor costumer because I'm not gonna clean it.
You can't.
I know.
You can't see that one coming.
But on the first film, there was a sequence in the film where Spider-Man's running through a neighborhood, and I didn't take the suit off for like 10 hours or something, and I didn't go to the toilet, and I told my mum, and I was like, I had a really hard day, like I kept the suit on for 10 hours, and I couldn't go to the bathroom, and then the next day the producer comes up to me, and he was like, Tom, how are your kidneys? I was like, they're fine, why do you ask? And he was like, well, your mom called last night, and apparently we need to give you frequent toilet breaks.
Oh, man.
Come through, Mom.
That's amazing, though.
Coming up next, speaking of getting votes, The Politician. I guarantee you, if you're not binging it yet, you soon will be. It stars joining us from location in Santa Barbara next. Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter coming to you live from this lovely theater, but now it's something that we don't like to say too loud in front of theaters.
What, that you can watch stuff at home?
Yes.
Is it going to be in theaters? Not in theaters. Not in theaters.
Sorry.
Thank you, Netflix, for giving us a couple new offerings. I'm a huge Between Two Ferns fans. How are you feeling about Between Two Ferns, the movie?
How did they not do this sooner? Zach Galifianakis is a genius, and you have to admit, does he not say everything that you've ever wished you could be honest and say in an interview?
Especially, you get that in the first 2 minutes of the movie with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh my gosh,
yes. You know, I love Matthew McConaughey movies, but some of them are laughable, and he kind of leans into that a little bit.
You live vicariously through Zach Galifianakis as an interviewer.
I think that he really pissed these people off in real life. I mean,
I hope so.
Some of the stuff he was saying. I was watching the episode with the guy that plays Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd is one. I mean, we just mentioned Matthew McConaughey, Paul Rudd.
Tiffany Haddish.
The level of people and the list of people
Barack
that are in
Obama.
this movie are phenomenal. Oh, funny you should say Barack Obama, because I sat down with Zach one time to talk about his favorite guests. Take a look.
Between Two Ferns, before I move on, since you did bring that up, who's your favorite of all of them? If you could whittle it down to the top 3 guests you had.
President Obama, I liked.
Yep.
Charlize Theron was just a really fun one to do. And Bradley Cooper.
Awesome. Bradley, because you've got a lot in common. Some history together.
We don't have anything in common.
You've made 3 films together.
Oh, yeah, we have that in common.
I'm not gonna lie, that guy is funny awkward. It's awkward to talk to him, almost Two Ferns awkward just to sit down with him.
You're very awkward.
Have you done content for Funny or Die yet?
No, not yet.
I'm shocked that you haven't been on there. You should be on there or have your own Netflix special. Make that happen, please. Again, call the number on your screen. I sat down with the Funny or Die creator and his co-star for this movie. Take a look.
When I heard that this might happen, I thought, how are they going to do this? And even Zach sort of pointed out, we found a way to beat the dead horse properly.
Yes.
And indeed you did.
Yeah. We did, and we wanted to do something like Between Two Ferns crossed with the HBO series Luck, where we just beat dead horses all the time, and I think that we, only about 15 were killed during the movie, so yeah.
And Peter was on hand and said,
they were fine with it. It was weird. They do not care. It's strange.
The horses?
The horses don't care. Peter doesn't care.
Peter doesn't care.
The ASPCA, they were like, do whatever you want. Like, they were just over at Crafty the entire time. It was like,
That's messed up in a multitude.
Did the horse discussion go a little too far?
Mark, that is messed up.
That is so messed up.
In a multitude of ways.
Exactly. The staff and management of
PETA
this show,
right
its
there. Here they
affiliates and
come.
designs have no connection with that interview whatsoever. Like, clearly they were joking, but that's the kind of absurd comedy that makes this movie amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so segueing on, if you like something a little bit more meaty and want to binge something a little bit more thoroughly, might I suggest Netflix new offering, The Politician.
Brian Murphy.
Now, this is the guy who brought you American Horror Story and
Nip Tuck, 911, The Feud. I mean, does he ever sleep? does he ever sleep? Literally The People versus OJ,
He knows
Gianni
how to make a hit.
Versace,
Yeah.
Bill Clinton coming up.
Exactly.
Bow down, Ryan Murphy.
What I like about it, it's funny, but it's not a ha-ha funny. It's more of a visceral funny.
Yeah. Some of the humor is just really what real people think. You know, like, oh, that's how that person thinks in the political realm. You know, and this guy kind of reminds me of. Remember the show Family Ties back in the day? Michael Keaton. Alex Keaton.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it has an Alex Keaton feel to it.
Yeah, Alex Keaton if you were a serial killer. Because he is kind of demented in some ways, but I don't want to plot spoil. I may have just plot spoiled. Regardless, it takes place in Santa Barbara. I sat down with the cast there to talk about it. Take a look.
I've never joned for people to see something more in my life because I got to binge the entire thing and see the final moments last night, yet the world doesn't even know of this, and it's frustrating.
To us too, we've been like sitting on it for months and we're just ready to get it out there.
So how much can you tell your friends when they say, so what is it? Tell us about
Nothing.
it.
I'm too scared. I'm too scared to say anything in case even that is too much. So it's just kind of, everything that trickles out, I share that frantically. But
it's hard. It's a kind of a hard show to describe without giving things away, particularly because it's got such a special sort of tone, and the world feels a very, very particular feeling that's hard to describe unless you've spent some time in it and started watching it. And I don't want to spoil it. Even beyond just not being allowed to tell my friends, I don't even want to tell them because I'm trying to. The experience of just sitting down and watching it is pretty special.
They've been promoting the heck out of this. Don't you feel like this series has been talked about for like a year already?
Forever. I think we knew everything about it before we even knew about it.
And it's perfect timing. Perfect going into an election year. This right here.
Yeah.
They're playing off of what's really actually going on in our country.
You know, I think those people at Netflix know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
A little bit.
So for more of those interviews and everything we've talked about today, be sure and like and subscribe on YouTube.
Notifications.
Questions, complaints, concerns at TV Marcus Allen and
The fun stuff, Kelly Savannah Deaton.
E. Clark Comedy.
All right. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. Have yourself a good one.
Take care.
Pop it if you got it.